Hello everyone, Justin here, and today we're going to be drawing a hiking shoe. This is actually my hiking shoe. It's a Merrell, and as always, go ahead and just try to get all the basic shapes first. Feel free to erase as needed, but the most important thing is to get all your proportions right, all the parts where you want them to be before you start doing any real shading. I picked this one just because it's a bit of a complicated shoe with a lot of different leather pieces, and it's also composed of different materials. So we're going to try to show those different materials just by different shading techniques. I'm using a Prismacolor ebony pencil, which I really like just because you start out with a sharp pencil point, and as you use it, it becomes dull, and it's great for shading at that point. And once I'm done with, say, shading, like I shaded the front part here, resharpened it, and it's great again for putting in details as I'm doing the laces here. So the excuse me. So the main parts here are basically leather pieces, and there's a mesh material that forms the main body of the shoe, and the bottom, of course, is rubber. So a lot of shading, some contrasty tones here, but just because most of the colors are actually roughly about the same color, there won't be as much of a contrast. But at the same time, I wanted to make the darks fairly dark, and whatever was somewhat lighter, like the top part by the laces, is a little bit lighter leather. There is some contrast there. So as I do the mesh here, I went ahead and did a quick grid first, and kind of indicate the holes of the mesh. This is still a sketch, so it's not like it's going to be a exact representation of the shoe, which, it's not worth trying to do that. But once I have the initial part done for the mesh, I go ahead and add the shadows just to give it more form. Now, as I put in the midtones for the leather pieces here, I'm not really trying to make it smooth, just because the leather itself is kind of a rough material, kind of like a suede-like surface. And as I put in the stitches here, I had sharpened my pencil again, of course. And same with kind of clarifying the edges of the leather parts, again with a sharp pencil. And as I get into the bottom section here, again, there's a lot of different shapes here that kind of form the sole. So I try to mark those as I go along. And then once I'm done with that, again, I go back into doing the shading. Now, the rubber sections are a little bit smoother than the leather, so I sort of try to make them a little bit smoother. I didn't use a blending stump or anything here, but still, you can do that with the pencil strokes by itself. But there's more of a smoother gradient between the darks and the lights and the medium tones, as opposed to, say, the leather parts. So I just go along, and once I'm finished with that section, I'll go back and try to clarify things a little bit more, and maybe make this a little bit more graphic by emphasizing some of the outlines as I do here. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's a nice little exercise as far as trying to draw exactly what you see with all the different shapes that this shoe represents, as well as practice for pencil shading. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if so, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day and take care. Bye.